total yards.
Yeah, it was a rough one offensively for the Spartans. They did not score in that second half. They really could not get anything going. Dwenger defense was just too daunting of a task to conquer offensively for the Spartans.
Dwenger's defense is the best in the SAC through 5 weeks of play, but still not the showing that Homestead wanted. They had negative yards in the game until the final drive of the night. So you're going to need to see a lot more from the offense. And, well, they had nothing going offensively. Nick Brown, he did have a good game.
Yeah, Nick Brown, first game back from injury, second game back from injury, he did very good for the Spartans team. There were a lot of moments where they relied on him as Nate Lynch went down with an injury. Just a lot of Spartans battling adversity in that game offensively and defensively, and Nick Brown stepped up big time to no avail.
There's a lot to talk about in that game, and earlier, just a little bit ago, our sideline reporter Eli McAllister got a chance to catch up with Coach Zman to hear his thoughts about that game and what to expect tonight.
It's time for the Coach's Pregame Report, brought to you by Homestead Media.
So, Coach, last week was a pretty rough game on the offensive side of the ball. What have you done in practice this week to recover from that?
We went back to the basics, and looking at some details that we needed to fix and get better at, and so that was it. Try to get better each day, and I think we did that this week.
And last year, you guys fell to Snider 35-0, but this is a lot different of a Panthers team. What have you seen on film leading into this one?
Well, they're a very well-coached team, as always. They're physical up front on both sides of the ball, and we expect a battle every year, just like last year.
And finally, what are some other keys to the games in this one?
We got to play better offensively. We got to protect the ball and stay out of penalties and things like that. Defensively, we just got to play physical football and match their physicality because they're a good football team.
Thank you, Coach.
Out the evening of this contest, but now let's take a look at Homestead's schedule as we sit just past midway through the regular season, and they enter tonight 3-2.
In Braxton, they had a good 3-week stretch. Noblesville, Southside, Northrop games were really good and suffered 2 tough losses for their 2 losses, but against 2 very good teams. And as you see, the upcoming schedule, just a lot of conference opponents that Carroll won on October 3rd. That's going to be a huge game following the conclusion of this one, so it doesn't get any easier for the Spartans.
And next week will be rivalry night in the SAC, the traditional Week 7 slate. And now, meanwhile, the schedule for Snider, it's been a bit of a down year for the Panthers. They come into tonight 2-3 on the year, but they have won 2 of their last 3.
And once again, taking a look at the future, while the first couple games were rough, they started to figure some things out. Got a nice win over Lures and Wayne as well, but a tough loss from Carroll. And then they have Homestead here tonight. They have Northrop on the 3rd, and then Dwenger after Northrop. So once again, the games should not get any easier for either Snider or Homestead. So this is the moment in the season where you really have to get things figured out on both sides of the football and start playing your best football.
And that game at Carroll last week, it was rough going for the Panthers. They put up more points than the Spartans, but it was a similar showing that the offense just didn't do a whole lot. Now, Jordan Davis, we're going to talk about him a lot throughout the night. He does have 7 touchdowns for the Panthers so far this year.
Davis has been a spark plug for this Panthers offense that has been a little inconsistent throughout the year. There's some games where they can put up over 20, and then there's some games where they can't figure things out, and the Spartans defense is a very good unit, so they're going to have to figure things out, especially being at Homestead with that tough defense.
So 3 weeks of SAC play are in the books, 4 more remaining, including tonight. Here's how the standings shape up. Bishop Dwenger, they are the only team that controls their own destiny in Division A. Bishop Lures, they will play Dwenger next week. The top of Division B, they are still very much in this conference title fight, especially because they avoid many of the big hitters from Division A. Northrop, Homestead, Carroll, Snider, they are all tied at 2-1 in conference play. If the math shakes out, they are all still alive to potentially win at least a share of the bell. So this game tonight is still very important.
Yeah, each game that you find in the SAC is very, very important, especially with those 4 teams that are in that 2-1 tie area. Dwenger, like you mentioned, control of their own destiny. If they keep playing how they have been all season long, they have a pretty good chance of coming away with the SAC championship, but you can never count out any of these teams, and with how competitive these games are, anything can happen.
When we take a look at the schedule for tonight's game, if things work out correctly, we could potentially have 4 or 5 teams tied for first in the SAC after tonight. Here are those matchups. Carroll, obviously heavy favorites against Southside. Then you got Northside taking on Wayne. One up, keep an eye on Bishop Dwenger and Northrop, the best offense versus the best defense in the conference.
Yeah, that's going to be a great game, Braxton. Northrop's offense showed out here at the Spartans' home field a couple weeks ago in that overtime thriller, but Dwenger has looked pretty dominant, especially on the defensive side of the football. So two Titans clash there, and it's going to be a fun defensive masterclass versus an offensive expertise game.
It's a beautiful night for football. We're going to take a quick break. We're back in 30 seconds with kickoff from Dave Walters Memorial Stadium.
The Air National Guard allows you to serve your state and country just one weekend a month while living your everyday life the other 28 days. You can earn up to $1,200 a month and get 100% of your college tuition paid for. For more information, search Fort Wayne Black Snakes on Facebook or Instagram, or call 260-478-3247 to connect with a recruiter today.
Back here at Homestead, high school captains heading out to the field for the coin toss. And before we get going, Atticus, what are some keys to the game tonight?
For Homestead offensively, they need to try to establish the run game. That's an element of their offense they would love to have going. Against Northrop, they were able to establish a good run game that led them putting up the most points they have all season long. Meanwhile, defensively for the Spartans, it's going to be important for them to pressure the quarterback against Dwenger. They're able to force a lot of turnovers out of the Saints just because they were able to get to the quarterback and apply pressure. And for Snider offensively, just find consistency, whether it be on the ground or through the air. That's a huge moment. That's a huge moment that the Panthers are going to have to find, just area where they can be consistent.
All right, here we go. Homestead has won the toss and elected to defer. It's going to be Snider ball first to begin this game. And this is a Snider offense that has struggled so far this season. Now, points per game, not too bad, 18.2 points per game. That's right around the middle of the conference in 6th place. But the passing game especially has struggled with just under 70 yards per game.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. Against the Spartans defense, the defensive front of Homestead, you have Nick Brown, Sterling, Swihart. You have a lot of great guys there. And even the linebacker core very good at stopping the run game. So for the Panthers, if they want a good chance to put up a lot of points here tonight, they're going to have to get something going through the air and can't just rely on Jordan Davis to make some magic happen.
We've gone through this entire pregame show and barely even touched on the quarterbacks for these two teams. Logan Frieden of the Spartans, a man who's been the starter since week 2 when Michael White went down with an injury at the end of the game in week 1. And then Jaywin Harris, the junior, making the start here for the Panthers. Both teams heading out. Spartans kicking units already on the field. Knipscher about to get it teed up at the 40-yard line to get this game underway. It is homecoming night here at Homestead High School, and it is a good crowd on the Spartan side of the field. There's a bunch of youth leagues for both football and cheerleading here tonight in attendance as well, and it should be a good one. Last year, Snider won this game 35-0, but the year before that, it was a overtime win for the Spartans on this field, or in the stadium, I should say, brand new field this season. We're about to get things underway. 74 degrees at kickoff, a perfect night for football, not a cloud in the sky. Knipscher gonna boot it away, and we are underway from Homestead High School, and that gonna be a touchback out the back of the end zone.
And I've been talking about how strong the Spartans defense is. Well, it's a good chance for them to show out early, and this one caused some early offensive struggles for the Panthers, as against Northrop just a couple weeks ago. They did a great job of stunting the offensive drives of the Bruins up until the second half. The Spartans defense was in control of the football game, and that led to Homestead having a sizable lead at the half, but obviously that did shrink. But the Spartans looking to start off strong defensively here tonight.
All right, so for the passing struggles the Panthers have had, their running game has been on point this year, 189.4 yards per game on the ground and 11 touchdowns as well. 8 of those have come on the ground for Snider. Going to be a pistol look here on 1st down and 10. Harris gets the snap, and he's going to hand it off here to Davis on the first play of the game. And Homestead's defensive line doing what it's done all season. It gets home.
And again, there, Davis trying to go up the middle, but the Spartans defense all there. Nolan Rogers in a linebacker getting their first for Homestead. That's how dangerous their defense is. They're able to find guys that usually would be further back across the field, just being the first one to make contact with the runner. That's why the Spartans defense is so good.
So they're going to call it a loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Burden lined up directly behind Harris. Davis is the one behind him. Here's a snap. It'll be play action this time. Harris trying to dump it off to Davis, but that is incomplete. And Jordan Davis, obviously, has got all the rushing yards. He's also been a big target in the passing game as well. He has more receiving touchdowns than anyone else on the team.
And Davis is quite simply almost the entire offense for this Panthers team, and Coach Zman going to try to take him away here tonight, just force the Panthers to find someone else to make things happen.
All right, Snider already staring down a potential 3-and-out, and Davis is actually going to check out of the game here for 3rd down, so they're not going to have their star running back in for this 3rd and long situation. It's going to be Burden the one lined up as the running back behind Harris here. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Harris gets the snap, and he's looking to pass on 3rd down, has some time, now gets rid of it, and it's going to be incomplete. As that time he was trying to find Warfield on the crossing route. He would have been well short anyways, and it's going to be a 3-and-out to open things up for the Panthers.
And the Spartans pressure once again getting to Harrison. Warfield wasn't even ready for the football, wasn't even looking for the catch to be made there, and the Spartans defense already a strong showing. Quick 3-and-out for the Panthers deep into their own territory, so the Spartans going to have pretty good field position to start their first offensive drive.
Spartan defense picking up where they left off a week ago. As on to punt it away here is Tongue, and he's just going to get it away. It's going to bounce at about the Snider 45-yard line and roll down, get a friendly roll inside the Homestead 40. Call it the 38-yard line where Homestead will begin their first drive of the game.
And I talked about how inconsistent this Panthers offense has been. Well, the Spartans offense just had their worst showing of the season besides that week 1 loss against Dwayne. They're looking to bounce back as well, prove that they can be a consistent offense as well. Coach Zolman and Logan Frieden trying to draw things up for this offense.
And arguably that was their worst showing, including the week 1 game. So a lot to turn around here for the Spartans. It's a high-flying offense more often than not as they come on to the field. 1st down and 10. Frieden going to hand it off here to Bartle on the first play of the game, and he's going to get a little bit. Now he's going to break free and keep on fighting, turn a little bit into a lot of bit, called a pickup of 9. It'll be 2nd and 1.
And that's a huge element of offense that the Spartans lost last week. They were not as physical as Dwenger. Dwenger was the more physical football team, and now when that led to the Spartans offense stalling out, and Bardwell again very physical there.
Here's a snap here on 2nd down. It's going to be another handoff to Bardwell. He's got a hole, and he's got a pretty good gain here. It's going to be a pickup of 6 for the Spartans. They've now got 15 yards on this drive. That's more than they had the entire last game.
Well, they're able to establish the running game early in this one. 2 nice carries for Bardwell. That's an element of offense that Homestead's been trying to establish consistently all season long and trying to really make this the game that they get it going.
1st and 10, Frieden going to go play action this time, and he's going to try to pass it low to Hutchison, who's getting his first start of the season, but it's going to be incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
There, Frieden just a little bit of too short of a throw. Hutchison tried to go down low, not able to haul it in, and even if you were to catch it, it might have been hard to hang on as a Panther defender was right there, ready to lay the boom.
10:16 to go here in this first quarter, just underway at Homestead High School. Frieden gets a snap on 2nd down, again looking to pass. Now he's going to take off with it, and he's going to be drugged down from behind, as that was Dean Porty able to make the tackle. Pickup of about 1 for Frieden. It's going to be 3rd and long now for the Spartans.
Well, another tough situation for an offense, and this one is now the Spartans' 3rd and long situation there. Frieden tried to take off, but the Panthers defense doing a good job staying disciplined, staying ready for Frieden to take off.
Dean Porty with already 22 tackles on the season coming in to tonight. 3rd and long for the Spartans, 27% on the year on 3rd down. Frieden looking to pass from the gun, has a man in the seam going for more. He's able to get the high point catch, and he'll be tackled down inside the 25-yard line as the Spartans move the chains.
And they're more just wide open, a lapse in coverage by Snider there is or just no one even near him in the seam, and a huge play not only to move the chains but to get some confidence and some swagger in this Spartan offense.
A 21-yard reception. It's 1st and 10 out the Snider 24-yard line. Frieden again going to pass, this time trying to get Kennedy on a bubble screen. It's going to be incomplete, and they'll say forward pass, so 2nd and 10.
And those are some of the throws that Freedom made early on, but last week against Dwenger, he was missing on those, and not a good sign early. Just a simple throw to Kennedy that Freedom would love to have back, just a little bit too far behind him.
Second down here for the Spartans. Kennedy lined up in the slot on the far side for Homestead. 2 receivers on each side. Freedom gets the snap, looking in the direction of Kennedy. Now going to go to Moore, and just out in front of him. Moore running a corner out, got some space, but incomplete. It's going to be third down once again for the Spartans.
And it seems like for the past couple weeks, Freedom hasn't been on the same page as his receivers there. Just a little bit of an overthrow with more than played previously. Just a bit of too far out of reach for Kennedy. Freedom's going to have to get on the same page as his guys if they're going to want to be able to move the ball well.
Third down and 10 here for Homestead. Freedom gets the snap, looking to pass for the third play in a row, and goes to England, but just out in front of him. Incomplete, and that's going to bring on the field goal unit for the Spartans.
And once again, Freedom had his guy in England open, just a little too far out of the outstretched hands of Evan England, and that's 3 plays in a row that I'm sure the Spartans wish they could have back. Throws that easily could be made, just not able to dial them up perfectly there.
So Henry Knipscher is going to come on for the field goal attempt on the far hash. This would be a 41-yarder. We know he has the leg, but his long this year, just 35, as he's 3 of 5 on field goal attempts this season. Marquell gets the hold. Field goal's on its way. It's got plenty of leg, and it is no good. He missed it to the left, and that is going to mean the Spartans' opening drive comes away empty-handed, and Snider's defense bends, but it doesn't break.
And that's just a drive that for Homestead, again, just a bunch of plays where they felt like they had something drawn up to score, but just not able to come away with points. And it's up to the Panthers now to take advantage of that. They could easily be down 6 or 7-0, depending on if Knipscher were to hit the extra point. There have been some problems with snaps and the holds, but there it was good, just out of the uprights.
So Snider catches a break. Here they come on 1st and 10 from the 20. Harris with the quarterback keeper on first down, coming to the near side of the field, and he's not going very far. Courtney Gillespie there to make a tackle for the Spartans.
And again, the Spartans defense, they moved so well as a unit. It was the guys up front forcing Harris to go more to the outside, which led to Gillespie and Anthony Fields being there to meet Harris where he could really go anywhere. But that is what Snider likes to do. They like Harris's rushing ability. That's some of the dynamic things he brings to the table for this Panthers offense. They're going to try to rely on him on the ground as well.
Even though he wasn't able to break it, it was still a 3-yard pickup on first down. Handoff here to Davis, running right to the 1 hole, and he's not going to go very far, maybe half a yard. It's going to be 3rd and medium here for the Panthers.
And those gaps are closing really quickly for Davis. He's either going to have to try to bounce him to the outside or try to get through the gap in the half a second he has, as the Spartans defensive line sort of the strongest part for the defense of Homestead.
Snider staring down another potential 3-and-out. They're 40% conversions. 2 receivers on the far side here for Harris. He's got single coverage down low if he wants it. Harris gets the snap, and there's a little bit of an issue with the handoff, and that play is going to get blown up as Buchanan was struggling to communicate with Harris there on the carry, and it's going to be a 3-and-out for the Panthers.
And a really bad miscommunication there for Snider. Just Buchanan and Harris not able to hand the ball off, just confusion on what side it was going to be at, and if they continue that up, the Spartans defense is going to make them pay time and time again.
So Homestead's defense, it's another 3-and-out. Here comes Tongue to boot it away again, just gets it off. This one's pretty high, and a fair catch going to be called by Carter Kennedy at his own 47-yard line, where Homestead's offense will take over with even better field position this time. So Homestead, they moved the ball pretty well last drive until it stalled out. Another crack at it coming up here.
Yeah, the Spartans offense, a common theme with them, they're able to move the ball, but when they get in the red zone and scoring position, they're just not quite able to come away with points, and that's a huge issue. They're going to have to clean that up, especially come playoff time, especially against Carroll as well next week.
So 1st down and 10. Pistol look here for Freedom. He's got 2 receivers on each side. Frieden takes the snap. He's going to hand it off, and that's not going very far as Bardwell did again able to get through the initial contact and get about 3 yards, maybe a long 2. Let's call it 2nd and 7.
And Bardwell doing the best he can with the space that he's provided. Spartans offensive line doing the best they can to make it as easy for Bardwell to get the ground game going for Homestead. As right now the passing game is struggling for the Spartans.
Here's the snap. Frieden looking to pass. He's going to have England for his 3rd reception of the season. He's going to get out across the line to gain a pickup of 9 and a Homestead first down.
And those are the kind of plays that Homestead kind of shied away from the last game against Swinger. Something I'd like to see them go back to, those quick little out curl routes, just getting their guys enough space to work with and fight forward for a couple extra yards. Quick, easy throws that helps Frieden get locked in.
First down and 10. Frieden gets the snap, looking to run on the near side, and he's going to split a couple of defenders and get it out to the 35-yard line for a pickup of 7 on first down. It'll be 2nd and 3.
And Frieden's legs is another element that has helped the Spartans time and time again. He's had plenty of big runs, especially against Northrop. There'd be many moments where the play would look dead, but Frieden would find a way to scramble for 10 to 15 yards, and Spartans really trying to capitalize that, especially with him not being able to connect with his guys too frequently often.
Frieden in a pass from the gun, going to the far side of the field, sets his feet and just throws it away. No one open, and it'll be 3rd and short.
Now another 3rd down situation for the Spartans there. Just a play that broke down. Frieden trying to communicate with his offensive line on where they should be blocking. As Frieden held onto that ball just half a second longer, he probably would have been met for a huge loss. So smart play by Frieden, just chucking it out of bounds.
So 3rd down for the Spartans. Again, they're going to go to gun. Bardwell is the running back. 2 receivers spread on each side, and here we go. Trick play, handed off to Kennedy, or tossed to Kennedy on the near side. Going to run into one of his own blockers, but going to have enough for the first down as he gets down to the 26-yard line, and Homestead will move the chains with the end around.
And a nice play there by the Spartans. Kennedy, one of the guys they like to get the ball with open space. He's so good at making the right cuts and making people miss, but they're not able to make his own player miss, just running into the back of England. Cost them a big play potential, but nonetheless a first down moves the chains.
First down inside the 30, just like it was one drive ago. Play action, Frieden looking for Pater, going to Moore, and he's got him in the end zone. Touchdown, Spartans.
And there we go for the Spartans there. Frieden able to finally hit his guy Moore, just a perfect route right in the bread basket. That was a play that the Spartans found success with against Northrop as well, and they been trying to hit Moore all night long, but finally able to break 3-4-6.
Homestead's offense not waiting to show up tonight, moving the ball well on each of their first 2 drives. And the second drive ends in 6, pending the extra point here from Knipscher. He's 5 of 9 this year, although a couple of those have been bad snaps and blocks. This one is up, and it's good. 6 of 10 on the season. Homestead jumps out to the early lead, 7-0.
Rethink your limits.
Back here at Homestead High School, where the home team on homecoming night, Homestead has taken a 7-0 lead over the Snider Panthers. And right now, that Spartan offense is flying, and Snider is really struggling.
Yeah, it was a similar tale for the Northrop game as well. In the first half, the Spartan offense looked great, and the Northrop offense struggled. But here in this one, same story early on, and Spartans getting their get back after that first drive. They were able to get in similar position, but just not able to come away with points. Well, there they take advantage of the defense getting another huge stop and setting them up with great field position and able to find the end zone.
So Knipscher will be on to boot it away here for Homestead. Hunter the one deep to return for Snider, but he's got a couple guys flanking him on either side. Knipscher, another deep boot. It's not going to have any chance to be returned as Hunter will field in the end zone. And a touchback, Snider once again for the third drive in a row. We'll start at the 20-yard line. This time they'll have to go forward for once.
And for the Panthers, you mentioned just trying to go forward. I mean, they've been struggling to find anything well offensively. They've been trying to establish a run game with Davis, but the Spartans defensive line has been all over that, and they've been trying to go through the air, but Harris not able to connect with his guys. And even when Harris tries to take off himself on the ground, the Spartans defense is just all over it. So Spartans defense did a good job studying film. They're ready for whatever the Panthers throw at them early on.
All right, Buchanan, the running back behind him as the snap is low. Harris is going to pass, and it's deflected by the Spartans, and it's going to be hauled in for a Panthers catch. Rashawn Johnson, right place, right time, makes the diving effort, and in the end, it'll be a pickup of 2.
That was a great heads-up play there by Johnson. The Spartans defense read it once again, but after the live ball, just tip drill situation, and Johnson doing the right thing, being at the right place, able to come down with a nice catch, which could have easily been intercepted.
Amazing, he's the one who came down with it, because I believe he was the intended target on that play anyways. They're officially going to call it a pickup of 3, so it'll be 2nd and 7. All 3 receivers on the near side of the field. Those running backs stacked tightly together as Harris gets the snap, and he's going to hand it off here to Buchanan, and he's going to get it out across the 25 to the 26. It'll be 3rd and 4 for the Panthers' third straight drive where they're facing a third down early on.
And Braxton, are they going to be able to convert? It's going to come down to whether they can hold blocks for their guys, and Harris has been feeling pressure all game long, whether he hands the ball off or throws it. Just the Spartans defense has done a great job of getting to that backfield no matter what Snider tries to draw up.
Not only has he felt pressure, Homestead's coverage has been stout so far in this one. Receiver up top here is Reddick as he's got single coverage. Here's the snap. Harris going to keep it himself on the quarterback run, and he's going to be brought down from behind by Nick Brown. Toby Aguinane got there at the last second as well. And another 3 and out for Snider.
Well, that Spartan defensive line once again coming up huge. Harris tried to take off with his legs, but as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage is instantly met by Homestead, and that defensive line is something.
So, for the third time already tonight, Tung's going to come on to boot this one away. And a high snap. He's going to get it down. He's going to get it away. Kennedy calls for a fair catch, and he's going to make that fair catch inside his own 45-yard line. And Homestead, again, going to have good field position to begin this drive, as they haven't started worse than their own 38 so far.
And Homestead has done a great job of attacking multiple layers of this Panther defense. They've gone deep and outside the numbers with these corner routes and post routes with Moore and Kennedy. They've also gone short, and they've also had a nice run game going with Bardwell. So the offense of the Spartans working well.
Freedom play action on first down, looking deep for Kennedy, and he holds it in! Down to the 15-yard line! Logan Frieden connects with Carter Kennedy for 42 yards.
Well, it was a great play action design there, and really all the time in the world for Frieden. He instantly knew where he was going to his number 1 guy, Carter Kennedy, and what a great catch, what discipline to hang on to it.
And the Spartans are into the red zone now, first down and 10. Trying to step on the throat of the Panthers, handoff to Bardwell, and he's going to run right into the middle of the defensive line, still pick up 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
And for the Spartans on the ground, while these 3-yard gains, they could be better, but it's a sign for the Spartans' run game, as there's been many times throughout the year where they can't even pick up these 2-3-yard runs, but Bardwell able to move the ball efficiently for this Homestead offense.
You can tell Homestead's trying to assert dominance up front in this game. Frieden play action, looking towards Kennedy, and it's going to fall incomplete. It was tipped by the Panthers, and it'll be 3rd down.
And there, Frieden just tried to go across the middle, but deflected by the Panthers. So now 3rd and long for Homestead once again within the red zone.
Panthers with 4 down linemen, and they're all going to jump here off sides. Homestead's going to get a free 5 yards.
Well, the hard count for the Spartans, they always go for it, and there, Panthers not being disciplined there, just jumping off sides, and that's a mistake you cannot afford to make, especially with the Spartans being in a 3rd and long situation.
Actually surprised it took us almost 10 minutes to see a Homestead hard count into this game. Braylon Wims going to substitute in now for 3rd and short, as will Brody Heck. As they bring in this short yardage package. John Barron also in there for Homestead, usually a linebacker, but comes in as a blocker in these situations. You see him there, number 35. Bardwell still the main running back here on 3rd down and 2. Wims comes in motion. Frieden hands it off to Bardwell, and he's going to fight forward. Going to be close to the line to gain. I believe they're going to call him short, and it's going to be 4th and 1 now for Homestead. Still about a full yard to go.
And that's a play the Spartans love to go to. They worked a lot against Northrop, just having multiple guys in the backfield trying to throw off the defense, but there's Snider all over it, able to track the ball and force the special teams unit of Homestead to come out.
So Knipscher will come on for his 2nd field goal attempt of the game. This one, a 24-yard try. And the kick is on its way. Again, plenty of leg, but we got a doink as it goes off the upright. And again, Snyder's defense bend, but doesn't break. And Homestead, again, a good drive that comes up empty-handed.
And again, the Spartans, they got where they wanted. They got their kicker plenty of time. They got him a nice short kick, but just not able to go through those uprights is Knipscher's kick. And once again, the offense, like you mentioned, able to move the ball down the field, but not able to come away with points.
So for the 4th time tonight, Snyder starts at the 20-yard line. Starting to become awfully comfortable with this position on the field as we near the end of the 1st quarter. 3 receivers to the right here in the pistol formation. Harris gets the snap. He's going to keep it himself this time on the read option. He's going to get out across the 25 down to the 26-yard line. A pickup of 6 to bring up 2nd and 4.
And a nice play there by Snyder. Harris able to trick some of that Spartans defense, able to fight forward for a nice run with his legs. And the Panthers, if they can just keep getting nice plays like that, just able to find some steady offensive rhythm, not only will they pick up one of their first downs of this game, but also just get some confidence to move down the field.
Harris looking to pass it out, and it's going to be incomplete. He was trying to find Davis this time, but through his fingertips. And stop me if you've heard this before, it's 3rd down for Snyder.
And the Panthers, they had a nice play. Davis has been one of their go-to guys on the ground and through the air, but they're just right through his hands. Might have felt the oncoming pressure of that Spartans defense, and usually averages about 5 yards per carry, but tonight has not been able to find that level of success.
So 3rd down and 4 here for Snyder, trying to avoid a 4th straight 3-and-out to begin this game. Going to send the guys in motion here as Harris gets the snap. Handoff up the middle of the field, and the play is going to be blown dead prior to the snap. And the way Homestead's acting, they believe it's against Snyder. Get our first penalty call of the evening, and it is going to be false start against the Panthers. That'll back them up 5 more. And now they enter into pretty much a must-throw situation. And so far the passing game hasn't really worked very well.
Yeah, the Panthers, their offense is not the best when they have multiple options, but when they keep finding themselves in these 3rd and long situations, it's really only one reliable option that's through the air, but they haven't been able to draw anything up well that can catch the Spartans defense off guard.
So Harris here on 3rd down and 9, going to get the snap from the gun. He's just going to take off with it, but not going anywhere as John Bear on the blitz and Sterling Swihart combine for the sack.
And again, the Spartans defense making a huge play, and it's multiple guys for this Spartans defense that's meeting Harris, that's meeting Davis, that's meeting whoever it may be, trying to run up the middle or anywhere. The Spartans defense just combining these tackles, making them so much easier for themselves.
And once again, Kennedy standing around the 45-yard line to receive this punt from Tongue. High snap, here come the Spartans, almost blocked. Tongue again playing with fire, gets it away and going to get a really friendly roll this time. So Homestead's going to have their worst starting field position of the night down to the 31-yard line. And time for about one more play here in this first quarter. And Homestead, they're up 7-0, but it really could be a lot worse. It could be 13-0 or potentially even 21-0. So Snider probably counting their lucky stars right now.
Yeah, the defense for Snider, they have to start to tighten up. They've allowed the Spartans offense to just really do whatever they want out there. And when the Spartans have multiple options open, obviously it makes every offense better, but especially with Homestead, when they're able to get the run game and the passing going, they're dangerous.
Frieden from the gun here on first down, looking deep. He's got Kennedy at the sticks, going forward, and he's going to get close to midfield, knocked back at the 48-yard line for a Homestead 1st and 10, a pickup of 17 on what will likely be the final play of the first quarter.
And there, just a wide open Kennedy in the seams once again, and a nice play to end the quarter for the Spartans.
Homestead up 7-0 over Snider after 1. First down and 10 for Homestead to begin quarter number 2. Braxton All and Atticus Dean with you for this SAC matchup between the Homestead Spartans and the Snider Panthers. Frieden in this shotgun formation for first down, and going to go for that hard count we're used to seeing to begin the quarter here. Now Bardwell's going to shift to the left of Frieden as the Spartans go left to right in this second period. Hand off to Bardwell, trying to bounce off the right tackle, and he's going to get down for a pickup. About 5 on the play, maybe 6. It'll be second and medium.
And the Spartans offense moving with a whole lot of confidence early in this one. As last week against Dwenger, not only were they struggling, but they just had poor body language. But here in this one, much improved mentality, and it's done wonders for them as they've been able to do a lot of great things offensively.
Late substitution here for Homestead as Liam Moore came off the field. Camden Bean will take his place on this stacked receiver formation at the bottom, and actually now Bean's going to come closer to the line of scrimmage here. Hutchison in motion, and it's going to be a handoff to Bardwell anyways. He's got space up the middle. He's out across the 30 and down to the 25-yard line before Hunter makes the touchdown-saving tackle.
And there, once again, a little bit of trickery from the Spartans offense, trying to keep the Panthers guessing on who has the football, and Bardwell just able to hit the gap with his speed for a nice gain for this Homestead offense.
First down and 10. Spartans down to the Snider 25-yard line. Frieden gets the snap. He's going to hand it off here to Bardwell, cutting back, and he's going to get close to the 20-yard line.
And not only has Bardwell done a great job of fighting forward for a couple extra yards, he's also done a great job of protecting the football there on that play. Multiple Panthers defenders swiped at the football, and early in the year, Bardwell struggled with football security, but done a much better job in these past couple weeks, and Bardwell is really rolling to start this game.
Second down here and 6 for the Spartans. Frieden looking to pass. Goes across the middle to Kennedy. Got it down to the 5-yard line. Runs back a little bit to the 8. It's going to be first down and goal Homestead.
And Homestead, once again, just across the middle is Kennedy, wide open for the Spartans, and Frieden and Kennedy starting to get back on the same page. And now, once again, Frieden, 2 receivers up top, 2 down low for him. He takes the snap and hands it off to Bardwell up the middle, able to fall forward to the 5-yard line. And Bardwell, once again, just being the key contributor on this drive for Homestead.
And it's going to be second and goal now here for the Spartans. Sorry, we're experiencing some technical difficulties here, but back at it. 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line. Pistol formation here for Frieden. 2 receivers to each side as he goes for the hard count. Now looking over to the sideline, play clock down to 10. Bardo will shift up beside him, going to the gun. Frieden looking to pass, steps up, taking off with it on the far side of the field, and he's going to get into the end zone for a Homestead touchdown.
Well, Frieden there, little bit of improv there, is stepped up in the pocket, met by Rains, but able to bounce it out to the outside and getting right at that pylon for 6.
And another look at that touchdown here for the Spartans. Frieden just getting to the corner, getting enough blockers, finding the space. And now Henry Knipscher on to hopefully make this a 14-point lead for the Spartans. Marclota hold here for Homestead. And good hold, extra point on its way, and that one is right down the pipe. So Homestead offense continuing to roll, 14-0, 9:22 to go in the first half. Homestead up 14-0 here against Snider with 9:22 to go in the first half of this game.
And Homestead has done a great job offensively and defensively, but focusing on that offense, I mean, it's an offense that struggled the last week against Swinger. Well, they already have 11 more points than they did all of last game, and part of the reason for that is just that they've had so many options. They've really been able to take whatever the defense gives them, a luxury they didn't have last week.
Kickoff goes out of the end zone for another touchback, and it'll be 1st down and 10 at the 20-yard line for Snider.
And meanwhile, for the Panthers, it's kind of the opposite side of the spectrum. Their offense has struggled big time in this one as they haven't been able to do anything, while the Spartans' defense has been all over it.
So 1st down and 10 here for Harris as he comes out to the 20-yard line. Going to get the snap and hand it off here on 1st down to Davis on the far side of the field, and he'll be brought down after a pickup of 6.
And I'm surprised it's the first time that the Panthers have really tried to get Davis on the outside, as the Panthers have focused on up the middle, what they were just trying to play bully ball, but that hasn't worked against the defensive line of Homestead. So I would like to see out of Snider more stretch and pitch runs to their guy Davis.
2nd down and 4 after the pickup of 6 from Davis. Snider still looking for their first down of the game. Harris gets the snap. He's going to hand it off again here, and Davis going to get down to the 30-yard line and really close to the line. They're going to give it to him, so Panthers move the chains for the first time tonight.
And it's only fitting that the guy to provide a little bit of a spark, this one is Jordan Davis. I mean, he has plenty of stats to back up his impact for Snider, and they're trying to rely on him in this one to try to get something going, as they've not been able to do anything offensively in this first half.
1st down and 10 at the 30-yard line. Harris hands it off once again, and this time not going to get very much on the carry, as it was Davis again getting the handoff, as maybe a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
And again there, Snider tried to go up the middle with Davis. I don't like them doing that, as the Sterling Swihart and Nick Brown, they're too good, and Toby Aguinaldo, they're all very good at their job of stuffing those inside runs. I would like to see a little bit of more outside runs from Snider's. They just had 2 great ones back to back.
Braylon Burnham's going to come into the game here for the Panthers, as it's 2nd down and 9, and whistles here, and we're going to get an offside penalty against Homestead. So that's going to be 5 yards here for the Panthers. That was an interesting formation, as Davis is lined up as a running back right now on the near side of the field. He's the one closest to you on your screen. And it looks like they're going to stay in that same formation. So Burden the running back, and Davis a receiver, down low. 2nd down and 4 now. Harris getting the snap, looking to pass, and he's going to go to Davis on the near side, holding at the 35, shakes 1 tackle and fights forward past the 40 to the 42-yard line, and Snider moved the chains again.
Well, that's a great play called there by the Panthers, getting Davis some room to work with on the outside, forcing some of those guys in coverage for this Homestead defense to make a tackle.
So 1st down and 10. For Snider's, we tick down towards 7 minutes to go in this first half. For all the struggles in this game, the Panthers still very much in it. 2 running back look here for Snider, both to the right of Harris. Davis comes in motion. He's going to get it on the jet sweep type play, trying to stretch it to the far side of the field, and he is chopped down by the Spartans defense. I think that was Gillespie there to make the tackle for Homestead.
Yeah, Gillespie getting in there, making a huge tackle there, going it down low on Davis, just making sure he gets the tackle, and he did just that. And Spartans are starting to catch on to the heavy involvement of Davis here in this 2nd quarter.
Every which way, as it's going to be 2nd down and 11 here for the Panthers. He's going to toss it back, hauled in here by Davis. He's not going to go anywhere, losing yards back to the 35-yard line as Hollingsworth blows up the play.
And Hollingsworth has done a great job all season long for Homestead there, making a big tackle, getting outside of Johnson's block, and
third down and 16 now for Snider, as all of a sudden a drive that was showing some promise is beginning to go backwards. Harris handing it off here to Davis. He'll break 1 tackle and get back to the original line of scrimmage, a pickup of 6, but Snider gonna have to punt it away.
Agunane was the one dragging Davis behind. Agunane and the rest of that Spartans defensive line doing a good job of shutting down the Panthers' running game early in this first half.
So on to punt it away here will be Tongue. Kennedy a little bit farther back at his own 25 to field this punt. And Tongue just gets it away once again. Kennedy calling everyone off. It's going to take a sideways bounce and be downed at the 27-yard line. As Todden was the one downing it there for Snider and Homestead. Offense coming back onto the field. 14-0 their lead. A chance to milk some clock here and add on some more points before halftime.
Yeah, that's the best possible situation you can be in for Homestead. Is right now they have plenty of time to kill, to not allow the Panthers to have another chance of trying to shrink their lead before the half ends. And with how good their offense has been moving, they have a whole lot of options.
Shotgun formation here on 1st down and 10. Frieden going to hand it off to Bardwell, and he's going to be drugged down from behind by the Panthers defense. That was Conklin, who was able to shake past the right side of the Spartan line. Back to the line of scrimmage goes Bardwell. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And the line of the Spartans has done a much better job here tonight. Corbin Weibel finally back from injury. The center for Homestead, that's someone that they truly missed dearly, as his impact already being shown here tonight, as Bartle's had a lot of time to hit the gaps.
See the brace on Weibel's left leg, but yeah, great to have him back here for the Spartans, his first start of the year. 2nd down and 10. Frieden again gets the snap, looking towards Moore, and he hauls it in just inside the 40, and he'll go down at the 39. But that's a pickup of 11 and a Homestead first down.
And Frieden looking a lot more confident in the pocket this week and so far in this first half. He's displayed that confidence through some of the throws he's put out there, and he's able to connect with Moore and Kennedy a whole lot here in this first half.
Taking down to 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. Kennedy in motion here, and he's going to get the handoff on the jet sweep. Cuts it up at the 40s, out across midfield, down inside the Snider 45-yard line. They'll push him out of bounds at the 41, 1st and 10 Spartans.
And Kennedy, I mentioned earlier when they gave it to him on the end around, he's a guy that they love to get open space outside the numbers, just try to get him room to work with, and they did just that on the sweep. Nice blocks, and Kennedy able to find a gap, and nice gain for Homestead.
1st down and 10. Frieden again in the gun and gets the snap. Again looking to pass, but instead he's just going to take off with it up the middle, out across the 35, down to the 30-yard line. A pickup of 12 and a Homestead 1st down.
And Frieden saying, don't forget about me too. I can run the football as well. And he's done just that all season long, and a nice run there, making a couple Panthers miss to fight for it for a couple extra yards, and 2 nice gains that also remain in bounds for Homestead. The clock continues to roll.
Don't forget, Homestead will get the ball to begin the third quarter after deferring on the coin toss. So this a big couple minutes in this game. Snider really on the edge of letting this game get out of hand. Frieden passes it to Moore. He's got some blockers on the screen, but not enough, as he is tackled immediately by Braylon Fertile.
And Braylon Fertile there, a great athlete. He plays basketball at Snider as well there, showing his physicality. Big linebacker there, making the nice tackle on Moore.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10 here from the 30-yard line. Stacked receiver look on the near side with Kennedy and Moore. Frieden gets the snap, goes play action, and he's looking towards those receivers off the hands of Moore. It might have been deflected by Fertile. It'll be incomplete. And 3rd down and 10 for Homestead.
And it was a dangerous throw there by Frieden. A lot of Kennedy and Moore just clumped up, running into each other. That means there's going to be a lot of Panthers in the area, and that there was. And Frieden maybe a little luck on his side that wasn't intercepted by the Panthers.
2:40 to go here in the first half. Homestead trying to get this to a 3-score lead before halftime. Damian Rogers, the H-back here on 3rd and 10. Frieden gets the snap, has Bardwell in the flat, but he's looking deep to Evan England, who hauls in the catch inside the red zone, close to the 15, but the ball comes loose at the end of the play. Snider says they have it, and they do. Panthers ball.
Well, a drive that was going so well for Homestead, just one play goes wrong, and just like that, their drive, it just instantly killed off, and they found England across the middle, just a nice little dig route there, but just not able to hang on to the football. As this Panthers defense, very aggressive, very physical. They're going to force you to hang on with the football for dear life.
So Snider's defense, again, they let Homestead drive deep into their own territory, but for the 3rd time tonight, they keep the Spartans from getting any points with that good field position. Harris going to hand it off here to Buchanan on 1st down and 10. Shaking past a couple Spartans. Fields will drag him down after a pickup of 3.
And the run game of the Panthers, something that they've relied on all season long, has struggled to become established in this first half. This Spartans defense and that defensive line especially doing a great job of forcing Panthers to get uncomfortable and really try to hold their blocks, and they have failed so far.
2 minutes to go in the half, 2nd down and 7. Not a lot of urgency here from the Panthers. Going to be a screen on the near side of the field. Pass is hauled in. There's going to be a flag coming into this play, but for now it's a reception and a short gain for the Panthers as Warfield hauled it in, but it's likely going to be holding coming back.
Yeah, it looked like it was Reddick on the hold there. He was holding on for dear life. They're trying to hold that block, but we'll wait to see the official call, but most likely that's what it looked like, as Reddick just had a handful of jersey.
So 2nd down and 7 is now going to become 2nd down and 17 after the holding penalty. Haven't officially marked the new spot yet. 1:53 remaining. We'll see how aggressive Coach Tippmann gets, especially with his team now being backed up deep on second down. Coach Zman might start thinking about timeouts, depending on how the second down play goes. It's going to be marked at the 11-yard line. And it will be 2nd and 17 here for the Panthers.
And for Homestead, if they're able to get the ball back with about a minute left, I mean, their offense has proved in this game, in this first half, that they've had the weapons and the facilities to go move down the field very quickly.
Handoff here on 2nd and 17, and Davis is going to be blown up once again. John Bear, the one to make the tackle, but there was another Spartan that got in there at the beginning of the play, and that was Agunane.
Yeah, Agunane and Bear both getting into that backfield very quickly, combining for that tackle, and now it gets very interesting for Homestead, as most likely they're going to get the ball back with ample time to go down and tack on a couple more points before the end of the half.
Especially with how well their offense has been moving the ball, especially through the air so far. They've gotten into Snider territory on every drive of this game so far. Haven't punted away yet, but 2 missed field goals and a fumble inside the Snider 20-yard line. So 1:46 to go here, as Spartans are the ones that call the timeout here. They have 2 more remaining, and I mentioned they're going to have a lot of time here. Snider, you'd expect, is probably just going to run the ball here on 3rd down.
That's what you would think, Braxton. No need of putting it out there for an even worse situation where it gets picked off or there's a fumble or something. Just run the ball, try to kill more clock, force Homestead to burn another timeout, so they may not have as much time as they would like to go down and score. As Tongue's had great punts. They've almost gotten blocked, but when he has been able to get them all off, and they've had pretty friendly rolls for this Panthers team.
So 3rd down and 20 here. Davis and Vernon are the running backs. Harris gets the snap, and he's going to keep it himself, not give it to either of them, and he's not going anywhere. He's going to lose a yard, as it looks like Nate Lynch was the one there for the Spartans. Excuse me, Nolan Rogers there for the Spartans on the loss of 1. And it's going to be 4th down and 21. Snider are going to be punting here from close to their own end zone, if not inside of it. And as Homestead spends their second timeout, they're going to have 1:40 when this next play starts. About 1.5 minutes to go down the field and try to tack on some points.
And that's plenty of time, especially with how good their offense has been moving. And Snider's really going to have to rely on Tongue's friendly roll to streak to continue, as they need it more than ever, punting deep in their own territory once again. And this Homestead defense has just been suffocating this Panthers offense the entire night. Panthers, they had a nice drive going, but a penalty and then just a couple bad plays in a row really just stunted their drive.
Something to keep in mind here, several of the punts have almost been blocked so far in this game. The Tongues try to get away. He's going to get his usual about 7 to 10 yard drop here. They're not super deep into their own territory that he's going to have the end zone to his back, or that a bounds line to his back, I should say. He will have the end zone to his back, however, and it'll make it a little bit easier for the Spartans to maybe get through here if they bring some pressure. And Kennedy's called fair catch most of the time tonight, but he has good return power as he stands at the Snider 43-yard line to receive. Here comes Tongue to boot it away. He does get it away cleanly. Kennedy not calling fair catch this time. He's going to try to return it. Jukes past one defender. Stutter step to the far side of the field. He's got blockers going down the sideline, and he'll be tackled down close to the 20-yard line. Carter Kennedy, a big return for the Spartans.
And Kennedy there making a nice couple of moves. I mean, he was almost instantly met by Totten there and just able to make him miss and stutter step and dance around to find a gap, and he did just that, putting the Spartans offense in an even better position to come away with some points.
About 6 yards back from where they were when the last drive came to an end on an England fumble. So it'll be 1st down and 10 just outside the red zone at the 21-yard line. 1:25 to go in the first half. Frieden going to get the snap, go play action to Bardwell, crossing route across the middle. It's going to be England trying to get some redemption. He's going to get it down to close to the 10-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 11. And right now, not seeing enough for a 1st down, so it's going to be 2nd down and inches here for the Spartans.
Once again, just a simple crossing route across the middle is good enough for the Spartans offense to get a nice chunk of yards.
Kennedy goes in motion. Freedom's going to hand it off to Bardwell instead. He's shaking and flying inside the 5-yard line. First and goal, Homestead.
Bardwell sprawling forward through the air for a couple extra yards, and it was a nice run play there, a nice design once again, throwing Panthers off their game. And Bardwell, man, he really flew.
Looking like a gymnast, everything but the landing. Bardwell with the carry, fighting towards the end zone. And they're going to say just short. And Coach Zman actually going to call a timeout here instead of letting the clock roll. So with 31 seconds left, Homestead going to burn their final timeout of this first half. But, man, Shane Bardwell flying down inside the 5-yard line.
Bardwell has done a great job tonight. He's had a lot of great blocks as well. I mean, take another look at this. Nice blocks and nice gap, and just another tackle down low there made by the Panthers. I believe it was Raines Jr. in on the tackle, and Bardwell got up, whether it be voluntarily or involuntary. Bardwell is literally and figuratively flying down the football field.
All right, so now it's second down and goal. This feels like a win-win situation for Homestead on whatever happens here on second down. Because if you don't get in, you get to run the clock. If you do get in, that's 6 more points on the board. I'm honestly a little bit surprised Homestead called the timeout with this much time left on the clock, but they know they have 3 downs no matter what.
That's what I was thinking, Braxton. I was a little surprised that they opt to burn their timeout here with 30 seconds left. I would have thought they would have waited the clock to go down more, just to not even give the Panthers a chance, but also give themselves some flexibility on whether if they do get this or not. And expect a lot of people to be in the backfield for Homestead. They love to run this play, just have a bunch of guys back there.
Second down and goal from the 1-yard line. Frieden under center, going for a hard count. And now he's going to take it himself. Quarterback sneak up the middle, not in yet. The second effort comes, no signal from the officials. And there it is, Homestead touchdown as Logan Frieden gets it on the quarterback keeper.
Well, there the Spartans offense used all of their might to push Frieden across the line, and they did just that. It took even a second and third effort from the offensive line to just muster the strength to get Frieden across the end zone, and a nice drive by Homestead, a nice short one, as didn't have to do a whole lot due to the return from Kennedy.
Jalen Hurts, who the Homestead version of the tush push, works to perfection. Knipscher hands on the extra point, and Homestead starting to run away with this one, 21-0, approaching halftime. .7 seconds to go here in the first half. Homestead leading Snider 21-0. Stay tuned. OPS halftime report coming up at the conclusion of the second quarter. Dylan McAllister will have an interview with Homestead head coach Chad Zman. Probably pretty pleased with his team's performance through the first 24 minutes of this game. Knipscher will boot it away for the 4th time tonight. And for the 4th time tonight, it'll be a touchback. And Snider will start at the 20-yard line.
And for the Panthers, I think it's just wise to run the football and just go into halftime. Just try to get to that locker room as quick as possible to figure things out, as there's clearly a lot to talk about on what they need to do to find some success in the second half. In this first half, it was pure Homestead.
It will be Homestead ball to begin the third quarter. So I don't know if that factors into Coach Tittman's decision here at all. Maybe to be more aggressive, but odds certainly not in their favor. They may just try to run this out like you said. Handoff here, and looks like that's what they're going to do, although a little bit of a space here for Davis. He's fighting down close to the 40-yard line, first down and 10. Who knows, maybe this changes the thinking a little bit.
Well, with how good Jordan Davis has been, you can really never count out this Panthers offense, as Davis has potential to pull off multiple big runs back-to-back, but no timeout from Snider likely means they're just going to kill it.
It looks like the Panthers are content with ending this first half down 3 scores, so 21-0. Homestead leads on their homecoming night over the Snider Panthers. Great performance from the Homestead offense, as every drive in that first half ended inside Snider territory. And sideline reporter Eli McAllister about to have an interview for us down with Coach Zman. And Eli, take it away. All right, having technical difficulties there, but Coach Zolman, you'd have to imagine, pretty pleased with the way his team has performed so far in the first half.
Yeah, for Coach Zolman, I mean, his team has dominated on both sides of the football. The offense has looked great. The defense tends to look good almost every single game for Homestead, but the offense really has been dominant in this first half, being able to do whatever they want. Logan Freeman has looked confident. Shane Bardwell has looked confident. Everyone on this Homestead team has just looked confident and looked like they've enjoyed being out there.
All right, extended halftime tonight for homecoming, so go grab some snacks, use the restroom, and come right back. We'll have the OPS halftime report momentarily.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
The Air National Guard allows you to serve your state and country just 1 weekend a month while living your everyday life the other 28 days. You can earn up to $1,200 a month and get 100% of your college tuition paid for. For more information, search Fort Wayne Black Snakes on Facebook or Instagram, or call 260-478-3247 to connect with a recruiter today.
Rethink your limits. What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits. Rethink your limits.
Now it's time for Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Homestead Media.
Welcome back to Inside the Huddle. This week I'm joined by junior Spartan quarterback Logan Frieden. Logan, thank you for joining me today. So take me back to week one. You start the game and you're a receiver for your team. And by the end of the night, you're QB1 when Michael Way goes down with an injury. What was going through your mind when you came onto the field as the quarterback, and then especially before the game in week two when you made your first start?
Well, during week one, it was more just like what can I do to help my team? That was the first thought. Week two, it was more just about being prepared and always staying prepared.
And you now have multiple games under your belt as the starting quarterback. What's the biggest thing you've learned so far?
It's very fast, and you gotta be smart, and you gotta know what you're looking at.
So far, at least statistically speaking, your favorite receiver has been senior Carter Kennedy. Tell me a little bit about the connection between you two.
It's just fun to throw to him. He's always open, and I can always trust him to make a play when I need him.
What has been the biggest struggle taking over the starting quarterback role, and what's been your biggest focus in practice so far?
Just making sure that I'm getting the ball out and making sure that I know what I'm looking at pre-play.
What would you say is your biggest strength as a starting quarterback?
How much I trust my team. I'll say that I trust my team, and I can always rely on my team.
And since you've taken over this spot as a starting quarterback, how have you seen your leadership skills grow?
They've had to grow. So I've seen them grow a lot, and I've seen the team really rally behind me, and that's great to see.
What does your practice routine look like both on and off the field? And then how do you balance that with your schoolwork and then your other commitments outside of school?
I practice as hard as I can, and then I get home and I make sure that I get all my schoolwork done, and I watch film. You got to be perfect.
What does your pregame routine look like? And then do you have a favorite artist you like to listen to before the game, or a favorite song?
Not a favorite song, but I make sure that I'm always stretching, and I'm take a minute to breathe and pray.
Right now, you have your team in the thick of the SAC conference chase. What's going to take for your team to come away with the SAC title at the end of the year?
We just got to stay locked in on the goal, and we got to stay mentally sound, and we got to make sure that we keep on trusting each other.
You mentioned staying locked in on the goal. If you had to make one goal for your team, either individually or as a team, what would it be for this season?
It's always to win the state championship. So that would be the goal.
Thanks, Logan, for joining me. Best of luck this season.
No problem. Thank you.
For more than 30 years and 2 generations, RT and Colin Green have given Fort Wayne more than proven personal injury representation. They have shared everyday life with the people they serve. These deep ties give RT, Colin, and every member of Team Green Law the local Fort Wayne knowledge and insight to know the best way to help you get the recovery you deserve. See the difference local experience makes. For a free consultation, visit us online at teamgreenlaw.com. Team Green Law, for you, with you.
Welcome back to Down to the Wire as Spartan Fall Sports roll on. I'm Braxton. Let's start with football, where last Friday it was a rough go of things for the Spartans as they fell to Bishop Dwenger 15-3 at Shields Field. Despite the poor performance from the Spartans offense, the defense still had a good night as 4 different players forced turnovers on the evening. Homestead will look to right the ship tonight here at home against Snider. Last Friday, girls golf became the first fall sport team to begin postseason play. They won their sectional by a decisive 30 shots over second place just down the road at Chestnut Hills. Today, they compete in regionals at Noble Hawk Golf Links, where play began at 8:30 this morning. Last Saturday, the boys cross-country team finished second place in the Flash Rock Invitational. 3 Spartans found themselves in the top 10 individually, with the Spartans' top finisher being Jace Trevino in 3rd place. The boys will be back in action tomorrow at Huntington North. The girls' cross-country team also competed in the Flash Rock Invitational last Saturday, and they too finished in second place as a team. They also will be back in action tomorrow at Huntington North. Our third in the state Homestead Spartan girls soccer team took down the 6th in the state Carroll Chargers on Monday. 3 different Spartans got on the scoring sheet in the victory, and Audrey Johnson led the way with 2 goals and an assist. The victory pushed the Spartans to a perfect 13-0 record, and they will be back in action Tuesday against Northrop. The 18th ranked boys soccer team also faced Carroll on Monday, but they weren't as lucky as they fell 1-0 to the 3rd in the state Chargers. The boys' next match will be tomorrow morning against Bishop Luers. The girls' volleyball team continued their winning streak with a straight set victory against Angola on Monday with set scores of 25-13, 25-23, and 25-16. Lila Tyndall led the Spartans' offensive attack with 11 kills, and Reagan Lyons tacked on 4 aces. Their next action will be tomorrow at the Crown Point Invite. On Wednesday, the Unified Flag football team kept their successful season going as they took down the Carroll Chargers 26-20 in overtime to pull out the senior night victory. The team will be back in action against New Haven on Tuesday. And finally, the boys tennis team, now ranked 2nd in the state, dominated on Tuesday as they took down number 6 South Bend St. Joe 5-0, sweeping all varsity and junior varsity matches. This is the varsity team's 7th win over a ranked team in the past 18 days, and the record improves to 15-1 on the year. The boys will look to keep their dominant run going tomorrow at the Center Grove Tennis Classic. And before we go, it's time to reveal this week's male and female Spartan Athletes of the Week. Nearly every week we have a show. We will select 2 winners from a current sport, and the winners can pick up their prize from the athletics office. Congratulations to this week's winners: from Unified Flag Football, Max Cole, and from girls soccer, Audrey Johnson. Max scored multiple touchdowns against Carroll last Thursday night after helping clinch a victory against New Haven earlier in the day. He has been a steady and reliable center who has made some big plays on defense as well. And for Audrey, she is the team's leading scorer this season with 20 goals. She has been mentally focused and determined to score in every game. Congratulations to both of you and all Spartan athletes with big performances over the past week. That'll do it for this edition of Down to the Wire. Good luck to all athletes in competition this weekend, and make sure to follow Homestead Athletics on Instagram and Twitter for updates on Homestead sports. Emma, Anelia.
For more than 30 years and 2 generations, RT and Colin Green have given Fort Wayne more than proven personal injury representation. They have shared everyday life with the people they serve. These deep ties give RT, Colin, and every member of Team Green Law the local Fort Wayne knowledge and insight to know the best way to help you get the recovery you deserve. See the difference local experience makes. For a free consultation, visit us online at teamgreenlaw.com. Team Green Law, for you, with you.
Rethink your limits.
At the University of St. Francis, we believe everyone's made for greatness. Here, students are inspired to reach higher, academically, personally, and spiritually. We're not just shaping minds, we're forming servant leaders with purpose and heart. Rooted in faith and tradition, we prepare students to live lives of virtue, service, and joy. This is where faith meets reason, and where students discover who they're truly called to be. Discover greater.
For more than 30 years and 2 generations, RT and Colin Green have given Fort Wayne more than proven personal injury representation. They have shared everyday life with the people they serve. These deep ties give RT, Colin, and every member of Team Green Law the local Fort Wayne knowledge and insight to know the best way to help you get the recovery you deserve. See the difference local experience makes. For a free consultation, visit us online at teamgreenlaw.com. Team Green Law, for you, with you.
The Air National Guard allows you to serve your state and country just one weekend a month while living your everyday life the other 28 days. You can earn up to $1,200 a month and get 100% of your college tuition paid for. For more information, search Fort Wayne Black Snakes on Facebook or Instagram, or call 260-478-3247 to connect with a recruiter today.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10349 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carryout by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
At the University of St. Francis, we believe everyone's made for greatness. Here, students are inspired to reach higher, academically, personally, and spiritually. We're not just shaping minds, we're forming servant leaders with purpose and heart. Rooted in faith and tradition, we prepare students to live lives of virtue, service, and joy. This is where faith meets reason, and where students discover who they're truly called to be. Discover greater.
Halftime here at Dave Walters Memorial Stadium on homecoming night as the Homestead Spartans lead the Snider Panthers 21-0. Braxton Hall and Atticus Dean with you here on the OPS halftime report. Let's take a look at our first half stats from tonight's game, and there you have it on your screen. Homestead's offense getting things done so far, 147 pass yards and 121 rush yards.
Well, they've just been able to do everything offensively. That's been a struggle for them early and some moments of the season where their offense just becomes one-dimensional, but not here tonight, as they've really done a great job of opening things up for Bardwell on the run game. But with the threat that Bardwell brings, it opens up the passing game for Frieden and Moore and Kennedy, and even Evan England has seen a lot more involvement here tonight.
Some of those stats not quite correct, but you see the first down totals there. Snider definitely not with 12 first downs in that first half. They were struggling to get things going offensively. So going to be a big second half for them here. But Homestead, they're going to get the ball to begin the third quarter. They drive down the field. It could be 28-0. And all of a sudden, they might be 7 points away from getting a running clock.
Yeah, and that's a huge, not only to get the game going for Panthers, like, they'd run out of time to do anything, but also just sort of be like nail in the coffin, as it's a bit demoralizing even after the break and trying to hype up your team to stage a comeback that Homestead just goes out and continues to be dominant like they have been in that first half. So Snider needs to try to do something defensively to throw Homestead off their game, maybe force a punt, force a turnover, just something that can bring the momentum, because otherwise Homestead's offense has shown no signs of slowing down.
And meanwhile, offensively for Snider, I know this is a hard question because they have struggled so mightily in this game. Besides giving it to Jordan Davis, what do you do?
A lot of it has been Harris has had almost no time to do anything, as that Spartans defensive line and really the entire defense, even with the linebackers, John Bear, Anthony Fields, have gone to the backfield. There's just not a lot of time for plays to develop, and the coverage as well of Homestead, they've been playing very well. Courtney Gillespie's made some huge plays, whether it be on coverage or even coming down for some tackles. I mean, it's just really hard for this Panthers team to get going. Maybe try to get some quick throws to the outside. I mean, they have guys that can make plays once they receive the football in open space, but they haven't been able to get them to receive the football.
Homecoming festivities have wrapped up. We're inside 5 minutes to go until the second half. Don't forget, next home broadcast, 2 weeks' time, right here on the Homestead Media YouTube channel. The Spartans will take on Northside. That game could have a big impact on the SAC standings depending on how things shake out over the next 2 weeks. Next week, rivalry week in the SAC. Atticus and I will have coverage for you from Carroll High School on WCYT Radio and WCYT.org. And coming up next Tuesday. We'll have volleyball action for you. Homestead versus Northrop with first serve at approximately 6:30 p.m. So as we turn our attention towards the second half of this game, let's look at Homestead. We've talked about Snider. Homestead right now, big lead. How do they see this through to the end?
Just continue to protect the football. They did a great job with that. They had one fumble with England, but they were able to bounce back with their defense. So if the offense can just take care of the football and continue to move the ball down the field, that would be huge for them, as their defense has done a great job of getting them the ball back with favorable position. So if they can just keep up their steady offensive game, just hang on to the football, they'll be in good shape to keep that lead.
See some of those halftime scores scrolling across your screen. Interestingly enough, Dwenger and Northrop, an 11-6 ball game. Carroll taking care of business against Southside. That one flirting on the edge of a mercy rolls. It's 28-0 for the Chargers. Northside taking it to Wayne, 30-0. Again, that'll be Homestead's opponent in 2 weeks' time. Dwenger next week will take on Bishop Lures. And Snider, their next game coming up will be against Northrop. So that we're going to take a quick break, about 3 minutes away from getting the second half underway. So we'll step aside. Now you see Bishop Lures up 42-0 on Concordia. We'll step aside. We're back with the second half kickoff after this.
At the University of St. Francis, we believe everyone's made for greatness. Here, students are inspired to reach higher, academically, personally, and spiritually. We're not just shaping minds, we're forming servant leaders with purpose and heart. Rooted in faith and tradition, we prepare students to live lives of virtue, service, and joy. This is where faith meets reason, and where students discover who they're truly called to be. Discover greater.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10349 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carryout by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
About to get this second half underway at Dave Walters Memorial Stadium. Braxton Hall and Atticus Dean with you. And sideline reporter Eli McAllister got to catch up with head coach Chad Zman coming out of the locker room. Eli, what do you have to say?
So, Coach, obviously a great first half. What do you team in the locker room to going for this, to finish this one out?
Well, you got to play like it's 0-0 on the scoreboard. And so that's what we talked about. You got to come out with the same intensity you had first half. Lead. That's the hard part.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you, Eli. So about to get this second half underway as Homestead leads Snider 21-0. And they're going to get the ball to begin this third quarter.
And if they have a good first drive, it could be huge, setting the tone for the second half, as put them just one score shy of a running clock. If they were to go up 35-0, it would be huge for them, just being able to hold on to the lead and not even give the Panthers a chance of staging a comeback, as Homestead was in sort of a similar situation against Northrop. While Panthers have not looked as good as Northrop did in that first half. I mean, Homestead was up 19-7, and Northrop battled all the way back and sent it into overtime. So there's been times this season where this Homestead team has been tested in the second half, and they're trying to avoid that here against the Panthers. Just put them out of reach early on in the second half.
All right, so slight hold up here, but Homestead's getting their return team out onto the field to get the second half underway. Snider taking their time. They're still getting over to their sideline after warm-ups before they get their kicking unit onto the field. It'll be their first time kicking off tonight. This first drive is going to really set the tone for the second half. If Snider could get a stop, 3 scores, you mentioned it's possible to come back from a deficit like this, but if Homestead goes down the field and scores, this game might be heading for a rout. So we'll see what happens here. This tongue will come on to boot it away. Teeing it up on that far hash. 24 minutes remaining in this one, 12 minutes on the clock. Still a beautiful night for football, not a cloud in the sky right now. And here we go, ready for play is given. Kennedy and Wims back to receive, but it's not going to matter as it's a touchback and the ball will come out to the 20-yard line.
In the worst field position that Homestead has had all night. Going to have to start off with a lengthy drive to start the second half, but if they're able to go down and score, especially starting at their own 20, that would not only scoring would be huge, but just showing the Snider defense that they have the capability of going on these lengthy drives and being able to come away with points would help them establish the tone they're trying to set in the second half.
We've seen moments where they've kind of ran the clock and had the drives grind out, but they've also had a lot of big plays to set the tone. Here comes Bardwell trying to find a big play. He's going to shuffle his feet right around the 30-yard line, cutting back. He's close to the 40. There's a flag down around the 25, however.
Well, there, Bardwell right on cue, talking about big plays, starting to go and make one himself. Wait to see what the call is. It might be against Homestead.
And it is. It's going to be holding. And that was behind the play that the flag came in, so it really didn't have a big impact on the play, but the Spartans starting line getting a little bit grabby here, and that'll back them up 10 yards to replay the down.
And Homestead's been pretty clean when it comes to penalties all game long. They're just not ideal to start the drive. Had a big play, but just gets negated due to a penalty. But overall, this Homestead offensive line has looked much improved here tonight from a week ago.
I believe their first offensive penalty of the game tonight, so back it up. And it'll be first down. They're going to spot it here at the 14-yard line. So it's 1st and 16 here for Homestead as it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 2 receivers on each side. Frieden goes for the hard count, and they're going to get 5 of the yards right back.
Well, again, the hard count the Spartans love to go to. They're just catching the Panthers off guard. There, I believe it was Conklin, the one getting just a little too overzealous there, jumping up forward, and Homestead getting those yards right back. So a little bit of ups and downs for both teams to start this second half.
First down and 11 now for the Spartans as the ball sits at the 19. Frieden gets the snap, going to hand it off to Bardwell. He's got some blockers. He's got some space. Hurdles a guy as he's headed towards midfield, and he's out to the 45-yard line of Snider.
Well, earlier, Shane Bardwell went flying after a tackle, but this time doing it under his own power. I mean, what a play there. He jumped over Raines Jr. there for the Panthers. I mean, what a huge play.
Shane Bardwell taking flight. It's first down and 10 Spartans inside Snider territory after the first play of the drive without a penalty. Frieden goes play action, rolling out. A lot of pressure, dumps it off to Moore. That's going to end up being about a loss of a yard, actually, after the reception here. Maybe a loss of 2. It'll be second down.
And despite it being a loss after the catch, could have been worse as Frieden fighting for his life to get out of that pocket there. Do a bit of a stiff arm on the Panthers lineman there. But a huge play once again, followed by a loss for the Homestead Spartans.
Second down and 12. Frieden from the pistol. He's going to hand it off to Bardwell once again. He's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage +1. It'll be 3rd and 9.
And Bardwell trying to do it all for Homestead, trying to continue the game he's had here tonight.
Homestead looking over towards the sideline to get the call. They reset the play clock here. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Frieden gets the snap and looking like he wanted a screen. Now he tries to go deep, but it's going to be batted down right at the line of scrimmage, as looked like Archer was the one who got his paw on that one. It'll be 4th and 10, and for the first time tonight, Homestead's going to have to punt it away.
Well, what a way to start the second half for this Panthers defense, finally able to stop this Homestead offense, and now it's up for the Panthers offensive unit to respond and feed off some of that momentum the defense gained there, as the defense doing a good job of getting to Frieden and forcing him to face a bit of pressure, and there on that play, Frieden not able to do anything.
Panthers were showing a blitz of all 11 guys. Then Q Hunter runs back. He's going to field it at his own 5-yard line. It's actually made Waynes Jr. bring it up the far side, and he's going to get it to about the 20-yard line. Funny enough, they're going to start at the 20 once again, 1st and 10.
Well, the Panthers in a similar situation here in the first half. You mentioned starting at about the 20-yard line, but see if the result changes. They had time to talk things over about how to get past the 20-yard line consistently in the second half, and they showed signs of that at the end of the first half, but a drive stalled out after a penalty and then just a couple bad losses in a row. So it's up to the Panthers offense to go out and respond. Their defense doing a good job of getting them the football early in this one.
And new quarterback for the Panthers. It's Max Johnson in behind center after we saw him getting some reps in warm-ups at the starting quarterback position. He's going to hand it off to Davis on first down, making his job easy. He's down past the 40, still going before Caleb Hollingsworth pushes him out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
Well, a theme in that first half tended to be when Davis got the ball on the outside, he had more success than going up the gut, and there, that proving to be true once again. It's interesting to see how the sophomore quarterback Johnson's going to lead the team now, as it's been a struggle for this Panthers offense so far in this one, but maybe quarterback change can flip some things around.
Hasn't thrown a pass this season, but I'll tell you what, he had a pretty ball in warm-ups earlier tonight. Johnson takes the snap, and he's going to hand it off to Davis for the second play in a row. Fighting forward, breaking tackles again. Davis coming out of the locker room like a man on fire down to the 34-yard line.
And there, Davis and Bardwell both doing a great job there. And Davis, in a play that likely could have been dead, is just there was nowhere to go, just able to bounce off a couple guys and fight forward a couple extra yards. Davis doing a great job of putting the Panthers offense on his back to start this second half.
Pistol look here on 1st down and 10. Johnson gets the snap. He's going to hand it off again to Davis, and he's going to get down to the 30-yard line. A pickup of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, so far for Snider, the game plan seems to be pretty simple. Hand the ball to Jordan Davis and let him work, and it's done wonders for them early in this one. But now, as you see at the top right of your screen, checks out. So going to be without him for at least one play. Let's see if they can figure things out.
Braylon Burnham, the one who takes his spot. Actually, 2 running backs here. Amari Buchanan as well, the one directly behind Johnson. Johnson gets the snap, and it's going to be play action to Buchanan, and he's going to look to pass it around the 20-yard line. It's going to be incomplete, intended target that time. Owen Dotson, their tight end. Trying to get him involved for the first time tonight, but it falls incomplete. 3rd down and 6 now.
And Dotson was trying to plead his case there with the official, trying to say he did hang on to and didn't let the football touch the ground, but officials say otherwise. So now 3rd and long once again for the Panthers, but are they going to be able to convert and find a first down, as they've had a nice drive up to this point?
Preston Hunden checks in now as Burden goes to the sideline. Here's the snap and handoff to Buchanan. Met in the backfield, fights forward. You have a pickup of about 2. It'll be 4th and 4 or 5 here now for Snider. And there's an injured Panther down on the field, writhing in some pain. It looks like it is Buchanan, the one who's down trying to get up. It appears to be okay, just talking with the trainer as he's looking at his leg. There you see Homestead principal Adam Swinford out here supporting the Spartans tonight, as Buchanan able to get off the field. You see at the top of your screen a little bit of a limp, but hopefully appears to be okay. But 4th and medium now, likely got to go for it if you're Snider.
Yeah, Braxton, I agree. with your assessment there. I mean, they've had a pretty nice drive up to this point. The last couple plays have stalled out, but they have to find a way to get points on this drive. Their defense did their job to start the half, getting a stop, but it's up to the offense to go out there and put the Panthers in a position to stage a comeback in the second half.
Defense did their job. Offense trying to do theirs for Snider. New quarterback Max Johnson still looking for his first completion of the game. Here's the snap, play action. Johnson is going to pass it, and it's short, incomplete. Burden the intended target. Hollingsworth in coverage, and then I'll turn it over on downs.
And great coverage there by the Spartans. They also got some pressure there. I believe it was Swihart that's starting to get in the face of Johnson. Maybe threw him off there as that throw was a little short before Burden could go and get in a spot where he could make the catch.
All right, now the Shane Bardwell Express, a.k.a. the Homestead offense, comes on the field. First down and 10. And begin this drive at their own 28-yard line. Shotgun formation. Bardwell is the running back, lined up next to Frieden. Frieden going to get the snap, and he's going to keep it himself this time. Kind of an RPO-type look. He's going to run with it out across the 40 and slide down at the 42-yard line. Call that a pickup of 14 in our Homestead first down.
And a beautiful read there by Frieden, made the right choices. Panthers defense now on alert, trying to stop Shane Bardwell. Frieden seeing that be the case and taking off with his own legs and trying to remind the Panthers that he is a dangerous runner as well.
First down and 10, 8 minutes to go, third quarter. Handoff to Bardwell and able to pick up a few yards. Going to be a gain of 3. Second down and 7. Really didn't get a chance to get a lot of momentum downhill there, but still got 3 and be second down.
Bardwell there was just trying to stay on the back of his blockers in front of him, trying to pave a way for him, but really no gap for him to explode through like he has been in the second half, but nonetheless still being able to fight forward for any extra yards he can.
Hutchison in motion here on second down. Frieden gets the snap, and he goes off to Hutchison on the far side. Excuse me, it's actually Bardwell out of the backfield, and he's going to get it out to the 45-yard line. First down and 10. Homestead, that play looked busted, but Bardwell was wide open in the flat.
And Bardwell's been wide open in the flat almost the entire game there. Frieden, no other option but to go to Bardwell, and he does a great job just fighting off the tackle attempts from the Panthers, being able to pick up a Spartan first down. And once again, Homestead offense looks good on this drive.
Once again, they're into Snider territory. Every drive of this game has gone into Snider territory at some point. Only one punt, handoff to Bardwell inside the 35, and it'll be brought down by Fertil, but not before getting to the 34 of Snider.
And once again, they're just trying to get Bardwell involved as feed the hot hand, and it's working. Just got to the outside there, had a nice gap there. The blockers for Homestead done a great job to start this second half, and Bardwell's just taking what his line gives him and done a great job for Homestead.
And Frieden goes hard count, and again, Snider's going to jump. We'll see for sure if it's against the Panthers, and it will be 5-yard penalty. Homestead's going to have first down and 5. That hard count, they're just mixing it in a little bit more randomly than usual, and it's working.
Yeah, usually the hard count of Homestead's been pretty telegraphed. They usually do it to start almost every drive and almost every down, but now just mixing it in whenever they choose to, and it's really keeping the Panthers on their toes.
Play clock reset to 40 here for first down and 5. Receivers to the left, 1 to the right. That's Liam Moore down low. Frieden going to run with it once again up the middle of the field, out across the 25, close to the red zone, and enough for a first down, a pickup of 7.
And Frieden there just dragging a couple Panthers defenders with him, and that's the grit that the Spartans team has had all night and being on full display there. Frieden carrying 3 Panthers with him to pick up the first down, and seems like whatever the Spartan offense wants, they're able to get here in this game.
Approaching the midway point of this third quarter, neither team has scored in this half thus far, but the Spartans threatening here with first down and 10 at the 23-yard line. Just on the fringes of the red zone. Frieden hands it off to Bardwell, and he runs into a wall for the first time tonight, really. He's shut down. Darian Clopton was there to make the tackle.
And you mentioned sort of the first time tonight that a run play has gotten blown up like that. Clopton doing a good job of getting past the Spartans O-line that's done a great job of holding blocks here tonight, but not there on that play. Great effort by Clopton.
Maybe a friendly spot giving him forward progress for picking up about half a yard. So it'll be second down and a long 9 here for the Spartans. Play clock down to 10 as Homestead's moving into almost like a 4-minute offense here about midway through the third quarter. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Frieden takes the snap, and he's going to pass it off. Devin England up top, and he's going to get it down to the 16. Homestead getting England involved a lot more tonight than we've seen the rest of the year.
Yeah, up until this point, he's been pretty quiet, but they've done a great job of getting him involved. He's been open on a lot of these screens. He's also been open on these crossing routes across the middle. That's an element of offense that Homestead relied on a lot last year with Cale Swagger, who is now graduated and gone. So an element they're starting to find back again with England.
Third down and a short 3 or a long 2 here for Homestead. 3 receivers to the right. Frieden gets the snap, and he's going to keep it himself, and he's being drugged from behind. And ultimately, he is going to be brought down as he couldn't break that initial contact. And it's going to be 4th down and short here for the Spartans. Right now, the offense remaining on the field, and now here comes the field goal unit for the Spartans on 4th and 3.
And maybe a bit of decision there for Coach Zolman. The offense has looked great, and the special teams unit has struggled a little bit on these field goal attempts, but Zolman ultimately confident in Knipscher to go and knock this one in.
Ball marked at the 24-yard line, so this will be a 34-yard attempt. Markwell bobbled the snap a little bit, but got it set, and the field goal is good. And that 1 yard shy of Knipscher's long of the year extends the Homestead lead 24-0 with 3:50 to go in the third quarter.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10349 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carryout by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
24-0, Homestead leading Snider here on homecoming night. 2025, Spartans have everything going right so far offensively. Snider, nothing going right thus far. Knipscher on to kick the ball off for now the 5th time tonight. Hunter the one to receive it, standing at his own 1-yard line. They've all been touchbacks so far. Knipscher, another big boot, and it's going to lead to the 5th touchback of the night on a kickoff. And Snider will start at the 20-yard line. So Panthers offense finally showed some signs of life on that previous drive. I know he didn't do a whole lot, but new quarterback Max Johnson, maybe that's a little bit of a spark for the team. Of course, it was still Jordan Davis, the one getting the yards.
And Johnson, he did end up throwing the ball just twice, but both incompletions. And I mean, we mentioned earlier this Panther offense averaging under 70 passing yards per game. That being pretty evident here tonight as their ground game has done all of the work whenever they are able to find themselves having success offensively.
Johnson, 1st down and 10. Pistol look and hand it off once again. And that carry not going very far, maybe a pickup of 1 for Davis that time. And so it'll be 2nd down and 9 here for the for the Panthers.
And for Homestead defensively, their strategy should be forcing Johnson to come in and make throws. If they can just eliminate the ground game with Davis, which it is hard to do, as Davis has pulled off some miraculous runs here tonight, but if they're able to cut off the Panthers' ground game and force Johnson, the inexperienced varsity quarterback, to make some tough throws, it'll lead to even more offensive droughts.
2nd down and 9. Johnson gets the snap, play action, and who else but Davis receiving the pass out across the 30. And that'll move the chains as he finds himself close to the 40-yard line. First down and 10, Snider.
Well, whenever the Panthers have had success through the air, it's been to Jordan Davis, as they're just trying to get him involved as much as they can, as he's done wonders for them offensively there, just getting him a nice little screen pass, getting him some room on the outside, and Davis taking advantage of that space for a nice gain.
15 minutes remaining in this one. Still just a 3-score game, technically speaking. So the Panthers still in this one. Another handoff up the middle. And this a lot like the play we saw 2 snaps ago. It's going to be a pickup of 1.
And those gaps are just closing so fast on the inside, as that defensive line, Homestead has done a great job of not even allowing the Panthers to have a chance to go up the middle anymore. Davis has had some success, but it's been through some miraculous plays that he's provided himself, and Nick Brown just adds so many elements to the Spartans defense.
Burden, the running back here on second down. Johnson gets the snap, looking to pass, going for the out route, and that is going to be incomplete behind the intended target. Warfield that time, and that deflection might have saved an interception. There's a Spartan lurking right behind him.
And Warfield on that play there slipped a little bit, messed up his release point on that route, threw off the timing of Johnson's pass, so led to Warfield trying to have to track it up top. But you mentioned it, could have been an interception if Warfield hadn't got his hands on it, as Spartans defense lurking in the background, ready to pounce on it.
3rd down and 8. Homestead showing a little bit of pressure here, with John Bear beginning to blitz. Johnson's going to throw it, and it's going to be incomplete again, trying to find his tight end like he did on the previous drive, Owen Dotson, and again, it's incomplete, and Snider going to have to settle for a punt.
Dotson there, just 2 Spartans just shadowing him there, not even a chance for him to come down with that one, and once again, the Panthers offense not able to capitalize on the Spartans, being held to just 3, is the Panthers defense doing the best they can considering the circumstances. The Spartans offense look good, and they've had great field position most of the time, but the offensive woes, the Panthers really harmed them in this one.
Punt is away. New returner here for the Spartans as it's fielded just past the 20-yard line and cutting back across the middle of the field, shaking guys down inside the Snider 40-yard line. Lutag on the return.
Well, Lutag there, first return of the night, and a good one at that. It's able to cut up to the middle of the field and then get back towards the outside, and a nice return sets the Spartans offense up with great field position once again.
1st and 10 Spartans at the Snider 37-yard line with 2:04 to go in the penultimate quarter of this one. 41-yard punt return there for Homestead. 2 receivers on each side. Frieden in the gun. Gonna bring Hutchison in motion. Here's the snap, and they're going to go to Hutchison on the bubble screen. Gets a block from Moore falling to the ground and cut it upfield to get it to the 32-yard line. A pickup of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
There, Hutchison, nice play, and Moore, despite being flung across the screen, they're able to hold a good enough of a block for Hutchison to have space for a nice 5-yard gain, and the Spartans offense getting awfully close to the red zone once again.
Frieden in the pistol will get the snap, looking to pass. Has England if he wants him. He's not going there yet. Still looking that direction. Instead, he's going to run, and he's going to get it a short gain, 1 or 2 after rolling on top of a Panthers defender. But he had Evan England standing wide open at the top of the screen.
Yeah, it looked like the play was designed for England to get the football there on a little wide receiver screen, but whether it be Frieden feeling like he couldn't get it there without being deflected, or just trying to hang on to it a little too long, not able to hit England, and now a 3rd down and medium situation for Homestead.
Did still manage to get a yard for the Spartans in any case. Frieden looking to pass, slant route to Moore, and he's got him, cutting it upfield down to the 15-yard line as the Spartans enter the Panthers red zone once again.
And the Spartans throwing it across the middle more than usual. They typically shy away from that. They go to the outside, but in this one, feeling like they can take advantage of this Panthers defense. They're doing just that. Moore had a great game here tonight, and Nice little slant route for him with plenty of space across the middle.
2 receivers on each side here for Freedom. 30 seconds to go in this quarter. It's going to be a handoff to Bardwell. He's got a hole up the middle. He's close to the goal line. And touchdown Spartans. Shane Bardwell once again.
And Bardwell once again doing a great job there, fighting forward, is up the middle there, getting through the gap and shrugging off the Panthers' attempts of bringing him down. And Bardwell doing it all here tonight.
Homestead's lead 30-0. Henry Knipscher will come onto the field for his 4th extra point attempt of the night. Better snap and hold this time, and Knipscher is money. It is 31-0. Homestead running away with it. 23 seconds to go in quarter number 3. 31-0, Homestead leading Snider. There's the Homestead Spartan Army showing out for homecoming night. They're getting a show from their team this evening. It's Western theme. And right now, Homestead looking really good offensively and a complete 180 from what we saw a week ago.
Well, Homestead clearly took that loss very personal as well. Took his A lot of the things they struggled to do last week are some of the biggest strengths in this one, especially that running game. It was almost non-existent against Winger. It's been one of the focal points, if not the biggest point of offense for them. Shane Bardwell having a monstrous night, and also the passing game able to work as well as Frieden, who struggled to connect with his guys last week, being able to dial up the right plays almost any time they're out there.
Another touchback here. Snider, 1 or 2 more plays to come here in the 3rd quarter. This game pretty much out of reach at this point, barring some kind of miracle. Right now they're trying to avoid getting down 35 and having this go to running clock. We'll see how many reps they can get from Max Johnson in the final 12 minutes and change of this one.
That's a bright spot for the Panthers, just trying to get the sophomore as many reps as possible.
All right there, maybe that's one of those issues when you don't have as many reps as the snap appeared to be on the line. Johnson just couldn't quite handle it, and his knee was down as he picked it up, so it's going to be a loss. You know, that far spot, so it's going to be a loss about 4, so it's going to be 2nd down and 14, but time is going to expire on this 3rd quarter, so it's going to be a long 2nd down situation. When we come back for the 4th quarter, it is 4s up on the Spartan sideline. They lead by 31, trying to get the homecoming night victory.
The Air National Guard allows you to serve your state and country just 1 weekend a month while living your everyday life the other 28 days. You can earn up to $1,200 a month and get 100% of your college tuition paid for. For more information, search Fort Wayne Black Snakes on Facebook or Instagram, or call 260-478-3247 to connect with a recruiter today.
For more than 30 years and 2 generations, RT and Colin Green have given Fort Wayne more than proven personal injury representation. They have shared everyday life with the people they serve. These deep ties give RT, Colin, and every member of Team Green Law the local Fort Wayne knowledge and insight to know the best way to help you get the recovery you deserve. See the difference local experience makes. For a free consultation, visit us online at teamgreenlaw.com. Team Green Law, for you, with you.
Ready to go for quarter number 4 at Dave Walters Memorial Stadium. Braxton Hall and Atticus Dean with you. Homestead trying to close out this victory on homecoming night. Snider trying to get something doing offensively, shut out through 3 quarters in this one, and they usually score 18 per game. 2nd and 14, Dotson finally get his first reception of the season. And it's going to pick up of 5. It'll be 3rd and 9 for the Panthers. There is a flag down, and it's going to be an eligible receiver downfield. So Dotson's going to have to wait to get that first reception of the season.
And also on that play there. Dodson came back up. He's limping currently back to the huddle, so something that the Panthers don't want to see at all, as he was met by about 3 Spartan defenders. It was Rogers and Fields, so 2 bigger guys on the Spartans defense just combining for a big hit on Dodson. But another flag on the Panthers, just a huge issue that they've struggled with all game long, is penalties.
So instead of 3rd and 9, it'll be 2nd and 19 as they now find themselves on the outskirts of their own 10-yard line. Handoff here to Davis. Only the only one who's done anything offensively for the Panthers in this game. And the ball is going to come loose at the end of the play. And Snider, it looks like they're going to hang on to it here, as that was almost a disaster. And it was the quarterback, Johnson, diving onto it. Take another look. Davis was getting it upfield, and right at the end of the play, it came out. But Max Johnson, right place, right time. Clock continues to roll. And it's going to be 3rd down and 16 now.
And a heads-up play there by the sophomore, recognizing the ball was out and jumping on it to avoid any catastrophes for this Panthers offense. And now 3rd and long, and the Spartan Army bringing the excitement. Their defense trying to get another stop.
On their feet for this one. Johnson's going to dump it off for the short pass here. And that's not going very far that time, as Reddick couldn't find much open space. He's been a non-factor in this game for the Panthers. They're hoping he could be a bigger piece of offense in this one. And it's going to be 4th down and 13, and Snyder's going to punt it away once again.
And the Spartans will have a great starting field position to go down and try to score a touchdown to put this one at running clock.
And the punt almost blocked once again, but Tung's done a great job of all night of just getting those punts away with not a lot of time. It'll be down at the 41-yard line by Totten. And Homestead's offense will come back out onto the field. Interesting to see how much more we see of the starters for Homestead already. They're mixing in some new guys into the offense as Tristan Sandifer goes out onto the field. Starting line remains in for the Spartans. Starting quarterback in and starting receivers. Right now, just running back where they're giving Bardwell a break.
And Sandifer's going to, depending on how he does here, could be a huge piece to step up, as Pinkston is currently out with injury. He's been a guy that's been huge in the backfield along with Bardwell for Homestead. So if Homestead likes what they see out of Sandifer, could be seeing more of him in the later weeks.
And that Pinkston injury means Bardwell's gotten more reps, as you've seen throughout the night. And yeah, it means he needs someone else behind him who can step up. Sandifer's getting his chances. England, another reception. He's had a good night. He did have the fumble, but still, by and large, a good performance from him. So he gets the pickup of 11.
Yeah, because England hadn't really seen a lot of action offensively until this game, and he's done pretty well with what he's got. And obviously, you mentioned the fumble, but he's been able to shake that off and continued to do well here. And more about the running back situation. Bardwell is also a guy that Homestead earlier in the year had him play linebacker as well. Now he's more shifted to mainly running back, but he's another guy that they can put on multiple spots.
Here comes Sandifer up the middle and down inside the 35-yard line on that carry. So it does good on his first touch of the evening, as they are going to mark it down at the 32-yard line. So that's a 16-yard carry for Tristan Sandifer.
And Sandifer also a two-sport athlete here at Homestead. He also is a runner. He competes track. He runs the 100-meter race, so showing off some of that speed there on that carry.
Hutchison in motion right to left to set up in the slot on the near side. Frieden gets the snap. Handoff to Sandifer again, and just taken down from behind. He had a hole, but couldn't quite break it. It'll be a pickup of 2, 2nd and 8.
And it was linebacker Cole Baumgartner there making the tackle. If he didn't trip up Sandifer there, he might have been able to break free and get a big run on first down there, but nonetheless, still forcing the Panthers to make a heads-up play.
Baumgartner, the leading tackler for the Panthers coming into this one, but he's had a pretty quiet night so far. Frieden's in the pistol here. 2 receivers on each side. Get the snap, and he's going to go play action, looking for the end zone, has a guy deep. He'll connect with Liam Moore for another Spartan touchdown.
Well, once again, Liam Moore getting the step in coverage, and Freedom just recognized there was only one guy remaining on Moore, and Moore's just a little too fast for you to be able to do that all game long. And there, Moore finding the end zone for the second time tonight. And the Spartans now have a commanding lead, and we'll start to see that running clock now.
Yep, you see the clock continuing to roll. Knipscher will come on for the extra point. And that one is good, so it's 38-0. Homestead enacts the running clock. 8:13 remaining. We'll take a quick break. We're back with the final 8:13 after this. Knipscher on to boot it away after the 5th Homestead touchdown of the evening. They find themselves up 38-0 over Snider. See some other scores from across the area beginning to scroll across the top left of your screen as Knipscher boots it away, and shocking, another touchback. This one the closest to being returnable, but still gonna come out here to the 20-yard line once again, and running clock now in effect. So Snider likely this is going to be their final possession of the game.
Yeah, and for Snider, at this point, you just want to see signs of life or some things that carry into practice the following week to try to improve upon his so far, besides Jordan Davis, which at this point he's already established himself as the Panthers' best offensive weapon. You'd like to see someone else step up and provide a spark, but Panthers haven't been able to find that guy here tonight. They've tried to go to a couple different guys. They went to Warfield, they went to Dodson, but to no avail.
So first down and 10 as Johnson leads his guys onto the field. Davis is the running back. Here's the snap, looking to pass far side, and it's going to be hauled in and brought up the far side of the field as Raines Jr. going to get a pickup of 8, and it'll be 2nd and 2.
And there, a nice play by the Panthers there, just a nice simple screen, something they have only really done with Davis, finally getting someone else involved. And wonder if they had gone to those earlier in the game, might have found a little bit more success offensively.
Johnson hands it off to Davis, juking past one guy, close to the line again, but he's going to be about half a yard short as Spartans linebackers able to come up and stop that play, and it's going to be 3rd and about half a yard here for Snider.
It was Nancaro there getting their first, slowing Davis down for the rest of the Spartan team to come and make the tackle. So Nancaro, cornerback, getting their first for Homestead. Just another huge play there defensively, and that shows us how versatile the Spartans defense is.
3rd down and inches. Johnson goes play action, looking for Davis, almost intercepted. Now Davis running backwards, back to almost the original line of scrimmage before he can cut it upfield. And that is going to be a loss of 8 on the play. It'll be 4th and 9.
Well, once again, just a poor display there by the Panthers offense. It seems like when things start to go right, it goes oh so wrong very quickly, and that being the case there on that down. And now Homestead will receive the ball once again, and with the running clock, most likely the final drive of the game.
Cutter Stockwell, the one who almost got the interception here for the Spartans. Late substitution for Snider as the ball is snapped, and that's a really low punt that's going to roll forward past the 40 inside the 35. So still a good punt in the end down to the 30-yard line. Homestead will take over for their likely final drive of the evening, and it is going to be a new look offense onto the field as backup quarterback Caleb Tarango leads the offense onto the field.
It'll be interesting to see here what Tarango can do for this Homestead offense. We've already seen some guys like Sandifer come in to make some nice plays, but again, some other guys that Homestead's been trying to get involved with. Brilliant Wimes out there is a guy that saw a lot of involvement earlier in the year, but has seen his role in the offense shrink a little bit as the weeks have progressed.
First down and 10. Tarango going to hand it off to Sandifer here on first down. And you can pass some guys. Going to be a pickup of about 2, and it'll be 2nd and 8.
And with Sandifer, the whole run game sort of changes for Homestead. As Bardwell, he's quick, but he has a lot of power on him. Sandifer, strictly speed. I mean, he is a sprinter after all for Homestead. So just try to get him to the outside, try to get him a nice gap to sprint forward.
I gave him 3 yards on the carry, so it'll be 2nd down and 7. 2 receivers to each side for Tarango. Here's the snap, another handoff to Sandifer. Druking past a guy in the backfield. Full yard in front of the dude, and going to be brought down at the 36-yard line. We'll give him an extra yard of progress as Maple makes the tackle. Another guy's had a lot of tackles this year for the Panthers, but it's been quiet tonight as he had 3 tackles for loss and a sack coming into this evening.
And Homestead's offense has done a great job of blocking for their guys in the backfield. As you mentioned, a lot of standout defensive players for Snider's been pretty quiet here tonight, whether it be them just not executing it to their highest potential or Homestead's offense doing a great job of blocking, maybe a mix of both.
3rd and 4. Wims goes in motion. Handoff to Sandifer, cutting it up, and that'll get out to the 45-yard line, punishing the Snider defense, and it'll be 1st and 10. As that was Range Jr. and went crashing to the ground.
And more outstanding for this JV team for Homestead. He is the kick returner as well, and there's been plenty of moments this year where he's had big runs where he's even housed them. So Sanford, just a guy you're going to hear a lot about in the next coming years.
1st down and 10, 2.5 minutes to go in this 4th quarter. Wims goes in motion. He's going to get it here on the jet sweep from Tarango. Cuts it upfield, out to midfield, and going to get to the plus 49-yard line before he's brought down. One more Homestead 1st down would do it and allow them to run the clock out the remainder of the way. It'll be 2nd down and 5 here for the Spartans.
For a lot of the key reserves for Homestead, they rely on their speed. Wims, another guy, not the biggest, but has some killer speed. He also plays a basketball as well, so another 2-sport athlete.
2nd down and 5, maybe a long 4 here for the Spartans. Tarango hands it off to Sandifer. That was almost blown up in the backfield, but Sandifer able to turn into a 2-yard gain. And it's going to be 3rd down and 3 now for Homestead. Need to run about 10 seconds off the game clock, assuming they ran the play clock all the way down, or just get a 1st down and they can end this game. So we take down to 1 minute remaining in this one. Tarango going to hand it off. Once again, this time not to Sandifer as the carry comes to the near side of the field. And that was Alexander Hand with the carry.
They're just getting more guys involved for Homestead, just trying to find some guys that can maybe help Bardwell in the backfield when he needs it, but he certainly did not need it tonight.
So about a 16-second difference between game clock and play clock. This punt could be the final play of the game. Damon Rogers, the late substitution for Homestead as he comes out onto the field. Knipscher on to punt it away. And they're actually just going to let the time expire. And because of the penalty, the clock's actually just going to keep running, and that's going to do it. That's going to be the game. So Coach Zman doesn't even want to snap it one more time if he doesn't have to, and it looks like Coach Tippmann not going to bother with a timeout, and this game's going to come to an end as Homestead dominates. Maybe a bit of a surprise that they won by this margin, 38-0 over Snider.
Well, Braxton, coming into this one, I expected it to be has looked better than Snider this season, but I didn't expect it to be such a game that found its way to end up looking like this. But Homestead just avenging their tough loss a week ago with a huge blowout win over the Panthers.
And I'll tell you what, Homestead's defense is looking more and more legit. This Snider team put up 14 against Carroll last week. They put up 0 tonight against Homestead. That defense continuing to stand strong from the Spartans ever since week 1. They have been the bread and butter of this team.
Yeah, that's sort of where it all starts for Homestead. While the offense, obviously you need to score points to win the game, but the defense of Homestead really sets the tone, as most of the time when Homestead wins the coin toss, they elect to defer, not only to get the ball second half, but also to let the defense start things off the right way, and they've done just that. And they forced a lot of 3-and-outs very early, and this one it wasn't until late in the first half where Snider got their first down of the game.
So Homestead moves to 4-2 on the year. They'll be 3-1 in SAC play, and still waiting for the final result of that Dwenger-Northrop game. That'll determine a lot about how the conference standings shake out, but the Spartans very much alive in the title race. Snider, as pretty much ends their chances of getting the SAC bell. Let's look at Homestead next week. It's going to be rivalry week. They take on Carroll, and it's going to be a huge matchup and go a long way. I know we talked about this with the Dwenger game last week, but this one as well going to go a long way in determining the SAC champion.
That definitely has Homestead and Carroll both in spots where if they went out and Dwenger were to lose, it could get pretty complicated and will allow them to have a chance to share some of that SAC championship rights there. But Homestead, they have to be prepared. The biggest rivalry game they have this year against Carroll, and it's at Carroll as well, so a tough environment as the Chargers know how to bring a crowd.
Of course, Dwenger next week will take on Lures, so that'll be interesting to see what the Saints do. Again, still not final yet in that Northrop game. For now, Dwenger is solo atop the SAC. So then meanwhile for Snider next week, SAC play continues. They'll take on Northrop, and their offense is going to need a lot of points to keep up with that Bruins offense.
Yeah, definitely, as the Bruins offense has been electric. Even against the Spartans defense, they're able to find a way to put up 36 points. And for Snider, the road does not get any easier after this one. They're going to have to take some things from this game and improve them, as there was a lot to work on in this one.
So again, Homestead gets the 38-0 victory as they take down Snider. And I guess we begin to wrap things up for this one. What do you take out of this game for both these teams?
For Homestead, just continue to have a good week at practice. They obviously had a great week at practice going into this one. They saw a lot of things they need to improve, and they did just that here, as their offense was really the biggest struggle last week against Dwenger. Well, their offense looked great in this one, and for Snider, questions start to arise on can they find some guys to make plays for them that is not named Jordan Davis, as outside of Davis, there really wasn't any offensive production for Snider.
Both quarterbacks struggled even when they had time in the pocket. The coverage was just too good from Homestead tonight. You mentioned it. Got to find someone else beside Jordan Davis. So that we're going to wrap things up here from Homestead High School. Our next broadcast on video for football will be 2 weeks' time when the Spartans take on Northside right here at Dave Walters Memorial Stadium. Coverage will begin shortly before 7 p.m. with kickoff at 7 p.m. Next video broadcast overall will be coming up on Tuesday with volleyball, Homestead versus Northrop. And next Friday, rivalry week, we'll be out at Charger Stadium. Homestead versus Carroll. Spartans look to defeat the Chargers for the first time in 4 years. A battle atop the SAC for the third week in a row. Thank you so much for joining us. And on behalf of the entire Homestead Live production team, sideline reporter Eli McAllister and color commentator Atticus Dean, I'm Braxton Hall saying so long from Homestead High School.